Well, how's it going, everybody? It is your friend, once again, the Gunman from my studio in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining me for my good news of the day. A little bit of inspiration, an emotional cup of coffee for you, a little uplift. I love my community here. I love the feedback that I get. Thank you again for sharing your lives with me. I do appreciate it. And on that note, I want to give you a really cool story. I want to talk to you about something that's really close to my heart, if that's okay. I want to talk to you about the concept of faith. Now, one of my best friends in the whole world, my friend Brian, he's really sick right now. It's his 12th day in the hospital. He is one of the not so lucky people that drew the short straw and had some complications from COVID-19. So he's in the hospital. It started with him, basically his fever went down after a few days, but he started on his therapeutics a little late in the game. He was struggling to breathe, and it turned out that, like some of these people we're finding out that have gotten COVID-19, they get blood clots. And he had an issue with that in his heart, in his lungs, in his leg, in his foot. And he's just the best guy in the world. Brian is awesome. He actually was, he officiated at my wedding. I mean, this guy's close to me. He's my brother. We've been through a lot together, and it really does suck to see him sick. Now, the one thing that's inspiring about all this is my friend Brian is a man of faith. And God is not an option in his life. God is everything. And he actually activated a prayer circle that he had. A lot of people that he'd also impacted positively in the course of his life. And before you know it, there was a whole group on WhatsApp getting updates from Brian's wife, and I'm in that group as well. And we could all follow the progress. And in the beginning, I have to say, it looked pretty grim. It was a drag. He didn't have to go on a ventilator, which was good, but he had oxygen assistance, and they were most concerned with one of these blood issues kind of dislodging, and it could be terminal. It's not a good thing. They put you on medications to thin that out, and then it's a matter of waiting. So what do you do in a situation like that, where you're powerless and you're helpless and you're waiting? You do not know what the outcome is going to be. Okay, you're faced with a bunch of choices at that particular point in time. You could either be angry at the world because you drew the short straw. You could be fatalistic in the entire thing and basically give up the fight. Or you could be like Brian, and he relied on his relationship with God and his faith to give him peace and solace through that time. And I'm sharing this with you because I just got a message last night that for the first time in this 12-day odyssey, my friend Brian is doing a lot better. Okay, that's actually quantified by the fact that he doesn't need as much oxygen assistance. His blood is now starting to oxygenate. The issues he was having with the blockages are starting to clear up. And it was a wonderful thing to see, and an inspiring thing for me, because I want to feel like if I'm put in the same situation, that I will have the faith to get myself through it and give myself peace when all seems to be at its darkest. It seems to be at its most daunting, and all the chips are stacked against you. What are you going to rely on? And I want you to think about that. I know this year's been important to me as far as identifying my relationship with my Creator, and it's given me a lot of peace. Now, there's some people out there that don't have God as a part of their life. I'm not preaching to you, and I'm not saying that whatever you want to do is completely fine if it works for you. I'm just telling you what not only works for me, but worked for my friend Brian. And I'm really grateful that that's the case, because the world is a better place with Brian in it. So sending thoughts and prayers out to my friend. And just a suggestion to you, if you're actually watching this and you're one of those people who has been curious, who's just kind of wondered what their spiritual truth is, and like me, I've been on a journey my entire life. You know, it's amazing what happens when we're backed into a corner and when we're faced with kind of, our mortality. You really get to know what you're made of at a time like that. Oh, there we go. Life happens. The dogs are probably watching somebody walk in front of the house. But that said, look, guys, I just want you to ask yourself that question. Are you feeling connected enough with your Creator? Are you feeling enough peace or not? And you just make up your own decisions from that point on. But all I'm going to say is, I wish you that kind of love and peace and serenity and certainty, because no matter what happens in this world, I know that I'm being looked after. So on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Lots of love to you. God bless. Have fun. Learn something. Reach out to somebody you haven't in a long time. I want to hear all about it. Thanks for sharing. We'll talk to you tomorrow.